Hey guys, this is Mr. Wayne and Mr. Lamar. We're going to be conducting a cornstarch lab this week. For those of you that are in class, we're going to be doing this together as a group, but this is mainly for e-learners as a way to have you kind of watch us do a lab. And then also you can do this one at home by yourself. So a couple of things here. First off, if you're an e-learner, this assignment, you'll have to answer the discussion questions that are listed below this video in order to actually complete the assignment. Also, just a heads up for the hybrid students that are coming into class, we will not watch this video, but we will be answering these questions below. If you're absent as a hybrid student, hopefully you watch this video and you'll conduct the lab just like e-learners do. So our first two things we're gonna do in this actual demonstration, we have to ask ourselves, what are our questions? So when we conduct this lab, as we get started here, we're gonna talk about mixing cornstarch and water, okay? And we're gonna use this bowl to do that. Now, what we're trying to answer here is what kind of questions can we have about cornstarch? How does it act? What does it do when it's mixed with water? These are things that you could put down as your questions. Please come up with at least two in order to maybe have these addressed possibly by this lab. The other things that we're going to talk about is then going into our materials, and we'll talk about research a little bit later, but I'm going to let Mr. Lamar start with our lab here.
Okay, so we're going to take the cornstarch, and if you're in class, you're going to get a couple heaping tablespoons of cornstarch, or sorry, teaspoons, and it's going to mix those in like that. Then I'm just going to pour in just a little bit of water. Here's the key to this. You do not want to over pour or put too much water in from the faucet, because then it becomes a soup. We're not looking for a soup consistency. So I'm going to add a little bit. And then I'm just going to mix it. I'm old school. I like to mix it with my hands.
So while he's mixing that, what we want you to do right now is consider a hypothesis. What do you think is going to happen as he's mixing this cornstarch and water together? What do you think this is going to do during this experiment? Please write down your answer to that as question 5.
Okay, and so I just said don't overwater, but I happen to pour just a little too much. So I'm getting a nice, the cornstarch to dissolve in the water. So now this is a little bit soupy. Man, I guess I made that mistake. So if that's the case, I can't take water out, but I can come back to Mr. Lamar, Mr. Whitty, and get a little more cornstarch and mix that back in. Now we don't want to do too much cornstarch either, because then it becomes too chalky. So this is just a very delicate balance of water and cornstarch.
Understanding that when we're doing this, if we were adding like specific supplies or saying that these are specific measurements, he started out with 2 teaspoons of cornstarch. Now we're adding and going by sight. That's a little bit different than just saying, okay, it's a specific amount or ratio.
Like if you're a baker,
exactly,
you have to have a specific amount.
Right.
All right, so zoom in there. We got, I don't want to add more water. I'm going to add a little bit more cornstarch though. Okay, so you see the cornstarch is in there, and we pick it up like so. And it's nice and solid when I push on it. When I let it go, it just oozes back into a liquidy form.
Right. And this is based on that proper balance of or ratio of different substances that we have here. In the case we have water, which is a molecule, and then we have now cornstarch, which is technically a compound / molecule if you want to look at it that way. But the thing is that when mixed together, they create something new. Okay. So as we're doing this, and he's mixing it up, and you can see that it's fluid when he's got it, but then when he actually applies force to it to actually like get it to do certain things, it actually solidifies in his hand, okay? So again, it goes from being a liquid state to a solid state. Now, what you're going to do after you get done with this, and you can do this at home yourself, please understand that your hypothesis is what you thought would happen. Now you need to make the observations and inferences. So what you saw here, what happens, and then why you think it happens. And then conclude with how could we change this experiment? was your hypothesis even correct or incorrect? And then also, can we, change what we use? Is that a possibility? So again, as you saw here, we've created this. We'll let you see it one more time just so that we can see what's happening, and then you guys can go and answer these questions below. So it's a solid when he squeezes it. Once he stops squeezing it, it becomes a liquid. Why does it do that? So please look it up, and we look forward to seeing you guys in class when we can. Have a great day, guys. Bye.